If we see this as a game, and I don't use that word in a trivial sense, if you see this as a game, how is the game set up now? What do you think the moves in the game are likely to be? Are the citizens of the world starting to wake up more than was anticipated? What's likely to be the response? Can you think the way that they, whoever they is, how are they thinking and what might they do?
Well, I believe that the speed of the awakening has taken these people by surprise and is making them extremely nervous and worried. And they have put in place this plan for the collapse of the economy, in parallel or in synchronization, this mass vaccination program, which is designed to kill or injure a large number of people. Then I think they have plans for famines and wars and various other things, and for moving countries under the control of the World Health Organization and the UN, which indeed would be the result of this pandemic declaration of one world government. I don't believe that they are very flexible and can see any way to back down now. So I think they're pressing ahead. They're even accelerating their efforts to get this vaccine into the population by stealth and secrecy. I think they're going to try and trigger a pandemic by whatever means they can in the next few days, weeks. They're going to be putting it up in schools, as well as injecting it into people. There was an incident in a Swiss train where vials of so-called swine flu that was supposed to be being transported to the National Flu Center exploded on a Swiss train.
Was that avian flu or
swine flu? That was swine flu, yes, okay. In April. Mm-hmm. So we have some glimpse of the methods that they're willing to use to spread disease. Very, very curious incident why it was being transported on the train at all. And by accelerating this pandemic, by making it ever more virulent, they hope to panic people into taking the vaccine, which will make it truly disastrous and justify forced mass vaccinations. And I think they hope that the hierarchical structures and the habit of obedience will be sufficient in the panic and confusion that ensues to see them through this. That's what I think they hope and believe.
The habit of obedience, I love that term.
Unfortunately, all of us have to examine ourselves at this point and ask how far have we internalized a habit of deference and obedience that is really not justified and we need to regain our sense of our own judgment and reliance on our own judgment and our willingness to stand up against patently corrupt and criminal authorities and refuse to go along with it. And that's why I'm now thinking that what we need is actually a kind of organized, peaceful revolution so that we can finally take back our governments, restore our legal systems and our constitutions, and rebuild our economies, our health system and our education system, and put these people who are responsible for this in jail once and for all so that they cannot continue doing this damage to us. So even here in Austria, I think the word is spreading and people are going to refuse. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. I mean, my hope would be that the movement reaches the point where the non-violent refusal will be more than enough to destroy and shatter this plan.
Some people have written to us and they said, look, you're not going to have a policeman with a gun knocking on your door accompanied by a doctor with a syringe. They haven't got the resources to do that. How actually could they enforce it if they wanted to? How could it happen? What would be the sanctions which they have?
Well, the French government released or circulated to the heads of departments an internal document of 19 pages which outlined quite clearly their method. And this is what I assume is happening in every country. They're going to set up vaccine centers that are outside hospitals and GPs. Some of these are going to be secure. People are going to be told to go there first of their own free will, and then they're going to receive calls, whatever, telling them to appear at a certain time. Then those people who do not come are going to eventually be collected and forced to go there.
Do the resources exist to actually do that? Because you're talking about transporting and enforcing and rounding up and making contact with hundreds of thousands of people, and possibly
Well,
many more than
absolutely. If so many people refuse, it will be impossible. But if they are assuming that the vast majority of people will either go of their free will, or when they get the call from, say, a police authority telling them to appear, or the notification, they will go reluctantly, but they will still obey that call. And the number of people who will actually refuse to go and stay at home when they're informed it's a criminal offence not to go will be very small, and it will be a criminal offence not to go. So they're assuming that the vast majority of people, when they get a call out of the blue, as is planned in Switzerland, that the police go through the registry of people who live in a canton, ring them up and tell them to go to the vaccine centres, that most will do it. And that there will be actually very few that need to be collected by the police. I think they have special pandemic police task forces there. They won't be counting too much on the regular police to do this. And they anticipate, I think, that they can go around and collect those people. However, if it turns out that hundreds of thousands and millions refuse to go, then they cannot carry it through. And that's why it's important for every single person to say no and not to go along with it.